And happy Tolkien Reading Day to everyone out there that celebrates. So, in this video, we are now come to the Two Towers. Now, as you know, Lord of the Rings, each book is divided into two books. So you had books 1 and 2 in the Fellowship. Here in the Two Towers, you have books 3 and 4. Now, you will see that we are now have separate journeys here. You got Merry and Pippin with the orcs, you got Frodo and Sam off to Mordor, and then you got the rest of the Fellowship. Alright, so in book 4 we have Frodo and Sam's journey. Here in book 3, everyone else. And there's 2 adventures going on here in this book 3, and they do converge towards the end. But there it is. Now, in some editions, when you have all the 3 books separated out, there's a synopsis at the beginning in the Two Towers that tells you what happened up to this point. And then, of course, chapter 1 continues where we left off. So we have the departure of Boromir, which originally was part of the Breaking of the Fellowship chapter, and Tolkien later split them in 2 when he published the book. But it was originally not written that way. And so we begin in book chapter 1 here with Aragorn running. He goes up the Hill of Seeing, and unlike Frodo, he doesn't see anything, but he does see an eagle flying up high in the sky, which had previously been seen, I believe, in the Breaking of the Fellowship. This, of course, is the Great Eagle Gwaihir watching over them for Gandalf, which they don't know yet at this point that he's back. And so he then hears Boromir's horn, and he runs to go find him. And he, of course, he does find Boromir leaning up against a tree with a few arrows in him. And he tells Aragorn before he dies that he tried to take the ring from Frodo. And then Aragorn, of course, keeps this information to himself. He never tells anyone. So anyway, they prepare Boromir, a funeral for Boromir. They lay him in a boat with the weapons of his enemies and with his horn and his sword. And this, of course, you see in like Anglo-Saxon and Norse literature, this type of ship burials occurring. In Beowulf, there is an example. The one of his ancestors, Shield, who had come as a baby in a boat, and so at the end of his life he is sent back in a boat. And of course there is that famous ship burial at Sutton Hoo in Great Britain that was discovered, I believe, in Tolkien's day. So that was something that the Vikings actually did do, and the Anglo-Saxons. But anyway, they sing a song for Boromir as he's dying, and then they look around him to kind of find out what's going on here, and they see all these dead bodies of orcs, and they have a white hand on them. Or is it the S rune? Maybe I got that mixed up. But that's when they discover that they come from Isengard. They belong to Saruman. They got an S rune on them. And it is, the debate on what the S is for, but that is the conclusion they make, because they say that Sauron doesn't allow his name to be spelt or spoken. Of course, Sauron isn't what he calls himself. That's just his elvish name. The elves call him that. He himself would call himself Tar Myron or King Excellent, because that's how he thought about himself. Like most tyrants, he did start out with good ideas, but in order to implement those ideas, he had to do bad things, and usually that's what happens. But they do come to a conclusion at the end, after they send Boromir off and discover that these orcs are from Isengard, that Merry and Pippin have been captured by these orcs and that they must go save them. Frodo and Sam are, of course, beyond their help. And the next chapter will pick up where this leaves off before we turn to Merry and Pippin for 2 chapters, and then we come back to these guys, and then the 2 stories converge until the end. Anyway, and then, of course, like I said, book 4, we will get back to Frodo and Sam, but that is the departure of Boromir. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you later.